A story that should have been unthinkable, but it happened, and it still happens. Middle-aged men, fathers, husbands traveling halfway across the world, not for business, not for family, but for something darker, to abuse young women and girls. I'm Jamila. Welcome to my journalism toolkit. I told this story 7 years ago, but it refuses to stay in the past. It shouldn't be, but in Somali society, talking about man's wrongdoing, especially when it comes to women, often is controversial. This is the story of what some call vacation marriages, but it's really about abuse, men exploiting young women and girls. This is how the idea came to me. I was in a Somali cafe in London. A group of men sat nearby, middle-aged, well-dressed, confident. One of them bragged that he'd just come back from Nairobi. He said he'd enjoyed dailo, a phrase meaning meat from young animals. He wasn't talking about food though. He explained proudly that he'd been with young women, girls, and that he could help his friends experience the same. I joined the conversation. In Somali cafes, that's normal. They knew me too. I asked him to clarify. He did in more graphic detail. I told him it was disgusting, that it went against our religion, our culture, our morality. How can you abuse girls your daughter's age, I asked. They laughed. You've been with white people too long, Jamal once said. You talk about women's rights now. Feminist? I left that restaurant determined to expose it. Back in the office, I told my editor this needs to be done. And soon after, I was on a flight to Nairobi. Eastleigh, a district in Nairobi, is sometimes called Little Mogadishu. It's full of Somali life, restaurants, shops, mosques, hope, and heartbeat. But beneath that energy, there is a hidden world where young women are trapped in so-called vacation marriages to visiting men from Europe and America. They come flashing dollars, carrying Western passports, and pretending to be genuine husbands. One of the first women I met was Ayan. She wanted to report her case to the police to find the man who had tricked her into a sham marriage.
I want to report my case to find that man who played with my life.
She had been disowned by her family, accused of bringing shame to them.
Why?
She was abandoned, pregnant, and alone. These men call it marriage, but when they return to the West, they leave behind women with broken lives, stripped of honor, dignity, and belonging. I met many women like Ayan, and I met men who laughed.
A guy comes solely just with an intention of sex tourism. It's a very big global phenomena. Guys go to Thailand, to China, to Asia. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's actually an issue that's been talked about, but not in the Somali societies.
I believe girls have some bit to play. I mean, we can all say 100% men are the problem. Once this guy comes, her intention is to exploit as well.
There's some girls who live below $1. They don't even have $1 to use for a day. That's so disheartening. So when this girl tries to change her life, tries to look for work, she goes to a guy, or the only thing that he sees, this girl is vulnerable. She has nothing. She came up to his door to look for work. So the only thing that he thinks first is, can I use you first?
Police in Eastleigh, especially Chief Jawahir Mohammed, the only female Somali police officer there, were fighting back. Every day, she saw lines of women reporting similar cases. She understood their pain.
As a mother, I feel very, very bad to see a woman who have made either a child or does not have a child, but her marriage is not settled. I feel very bad. I could urge those men who are coming to marry, let them fear God and sustain the marriage.
meeshaan dhammaan soo gasheen qof kale oo Soomaali isla degan soo galaysa malaha.
Then came Jamila, 17 years old. She met a Somali man from America. He married her. 3 months later, he left. She was only 15 when it began. Now, she was raising a child alone, working in Eastleigh's red light district, a place where most Somali women would never set foot. She looked straight at me and said, she was courageous. She wanted to show her face, hoping someone would help. And when the story aired, Somalis, mostly women, rose up. They raised money for her. They helped her rebuild her life. 8 months later, I traveled back to Nairobi to meet Jamila again.
حتى ماشيس عمل أنت كور لها بكبرياء لا نجح ذي قال أنت هذا تي في هستا من الموفي الداونا أنت ذاكر السنة أنت قولوا لك السنة كفي عن ملا.
She was in a much better situation. A small light in the darkness.
هذا لكني مشان أسكي عيارسة برصد بنانك وبحسة عيال درس عيال عيارسة سو نظافة ديدوس كفي عنته ماشي نظافة حتى ملهين بفرنتين ودحين.
But then came the calls, the messages, men I knew and many I didn't, accused me of airing our dirt in public. They didn't deny the facts, they just hated that I exposed the issue. Some said their wives had watched my story and no longer allowed them to travel to Nairobi alone. I told them I was happy about that. Maybe that saved one woman. You're damaging our image, they said. No, I replied. We're damaging our daughters. That silence, that misplaced pride is part of the disease. 7 years on, Somali man still come up to me, complaining. I don't debate, I tell them off. And I still think about those women, Ayan, Jamila, and the countless others whose names we never learned. Their stories taught me something crucial, that journalism isn't just about exposing wrongdoing. It's about holding up a mirror even when people don't like what they see. And yes, it's about courage. The courage to speak, to be seen, to demand better. Some stories age and fade, but others, they grow with time. Vacation marriages still happen. The silence still lingers, but so does the truth. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.